Okay, so if we look here now, so that was you before, okay, so quite narrow there with the arms and then coming across the ball, catching the hosel, and then the old sort of shank out to the right, as we said. All gets a bit tucked in with the elbows, and as I say, the weight being a bit on your tippy toes to start with. And that club at this point, next frame back, the club here is kind of behind you, and there's your hand. So that club, to get into this position back here, and you can almost just about see the shadow of the club face kind of in that direction of the face now is pointing up to the sky. So you folded the club and rolled it. Face at this point is very much open, swinging in this direction. Well, you want the ball to go this direction, so you've got to change both path and club face, which is a lot to do in a split second.
So it's like, I guess, the plane of my...
Yeah, that position there, there's your spine angle. And you can see the club face now is matched. That club now is what we call a square position, okay? It's a bit behind your hands, but that's fine. It's not sort of as far as it was there, okay? So you practice this movement. Even when you're just doing this here now, you can see if you were there, the weight now is more sort of in that right heel. It's not so on your tippy toes so much. And you're able to rotate your body. So you do the first movement now to there. That club's pretty good. Maybe a little bit further than you want to, but it's certainly a lot closer than where it was when it was sort of up here somewhere, okay? So you're getting more control of that golf club. And then from there, we're able to sort of feel that top of the backswing there. Now, ideally speaking, you'll see now when I do this, I get your arms a bit high because I let your right elbow get just a bit more weight, not sort of sticking in here too much, okay? Don't want to sort of suck that right arm in too much. Then you do it there now, I jump in. There we go. So get the arm kind of working up this way a bit more. There we go. Did I get the top? I think I did. Maybe I didn't. Get the arms up high. We can feel that weight there. You can see that right foot's able to move now. You've got more depth in your hands. You can see your hands there. Obviously, they're a bit short of where they want to go, but they're behind you more compared to this one now, where hands are sort of very close to your head. They're all kind of like a bit tucked in, to be fair. And then when you're in that position and your arms are all in here and tucked and you're probably gripping it quite tight, it's all going to come down in one sort of stuck movement, okay? So we can get that swing the top. So then from there, then you make...
That my hand should be coming behind me.
A little bit more depth, yeah, exactly. So a bit more kind of behind you in this. But that's going to come from a better rotation, okay? And your arm's able to get there, okay? If your club goes back too far in this position, if your club goes back too far here and your arms then keep going this way, the club's going to be so far behind, you'll be like, getting back to the golf ball will be almost an impossibility. So it's kind of like a read and react. The club goes back here, the arms have got to go up quite high. Otherwise, if they kept going round here, that club's just going to keep going flatter and flatter, and you'll never get back to the golf ball. So you're going to struggle with that, okay? So there's your take. That was good. There's your hands there a lot higher, you see that? And now coming back to the golf ball, back into that position here now, feeling that movement back and forth, and then through. And then when you get to the golf ball, we just swing and hit it. And what we would hope for, if we think about your practice, you've been practicing, your takeaway was here and your hands here. With practice, we were getting the hands here and the club head will do this blue line somewhere there. So we'd hope the real swing now, the club head will be somewhere between those blue lines, having done that kind of drill there in terms of practice. There you go, you can see it's even better. There you go, it's just about there, short of backswing, so it's probably going to be somewhere around there by the frame. A much better position in terms of where that club is. And then we can sort of take the golf club back now.
You're saying when I was starting, so it was going back.
Yeah, you see the club. That's where the takeaway was. The yellow line there represents where your club is. So there's the club there now at this position, way back here.
Yeah.
And what we were trying to do was obviously practice it going back more.
Is that more like a baseball swing then? So it's more.
Yeah, I mean it's flat. I mean the golf swing in a sense is a baseball swing on a tilt. But that, for me, the club is getting what we call too far behind you. And when it gets too far behind you that way, what you have done is kind of rolled and folded the arms, which means your face is opened and the club is now too far, we call behind you, coming in from sort of an acute angle in here. Yeah. So the ball's going to go right. Yeah. You've opened the face up, so it's going to go even further right. And then to stop it go over here, you then swing over the top and start swinging it this way, which means now you're coming sort of out to in. Yeah. You either pull it way left this way, you either shank it because you're coming over the top and catch the hosel, or you slice it maybe back to target or way to the right of target. But it's a lot of variety in shots, all based around that kind of initial takeaway. And you just, again, instinctive reaction to where that club is. The club's too far behind you. You've got to get back in front of you by some means. Now, there'll be times you can do it quite well, but a lot of times it's not going to be as easy to do that, okay? So sort of practicing that movement and getting the arms working better around your body. So a phrase I often talk to a lot of people about this, sort of like the phrase we talk about in the takeaway is kind of like butt of the club. So butt in, head out. So the butt of the club's going to work in, the head's going to stay outside. It's not going to go whipping behind you. It's going to work back as you were doing kind of here, this way, yeah? So my thumbs are still pointing towards you, they're not behind you, yeah? So it's just controlling that club face, which again, we saw difficulties. I said, I'll swing the club back to level with your hips, and where the club go, it was kind of up above your head there, yeah? So taking that golf club to there is perfect, okay? Really good movement there now. You can see your left arm a bit more kind of across your chest, yeah? More connected movement there now, up the top nicely. And then when you set the golf ball, just swing it, yeah? No thought in the swing, and then shot-wise, a little bit pull, but a nice contact, a nice bit of distance there, and a reasonably good sort of shot. So that is kind of the whole practice you want to go through. Now, yeah, that was a minute, 90 seconds basically for one shot. Ideally, about 60 seconds for a shot. Now, that'll be involving sort of 3 or 4 shots over a couple of minutes, maybe hitting a shot, 30 seconds-ish kind of per shot, and then maybe doing a couple of shots where you sort of spend a bit of time drilling that movement there. Not every single shot, but if you hit sort of 4 or 5 good ones, yeah, just check it, hit some more. If you're starting a few bad ones, okay, fine, just feel that movement, feel that kind of take.
You can quite easily just film yourself and
exactly. Again, and when you're filming yourself, the camera's in line between your hands.
Okay.
The only reason I say that is because if you put the camera down here, like the golf balls, a lot of people do, the club will seem to go a long way inside.
Yeah.
Then you'll start going the other way. So the camera's directly between your toe, your hand line. If you go too far, no one really goes back here very, but most people go behind the golf ball. Yeah. And if you look from a visual point of view, if I'm looking down the line here now, if I'm here to you, if you're in line with my hands, if I go back here, the club's in line. But if I go back here, now the club's gone inside here. So you'll think, oh, club, and then you start going, and trying to exaggerate. So if you are filming it, make sure the camera's in the sort of right position, get a good feel for that kind of spot there, okay? But that kind of makes sense, so so certainly a few things that set up, just adjust that weight position. The main thing, obviously, in terms of the takeaway, get that takeaway right, drill that movement, do that for 30 seconds, a minute, and then you step to the golf ball. And again, swing-wise, there's a good movement there. Step to the golf ball and hit. Nice rhythm, nice strike. Good movement overall, so. Okay, buddy?
Cool.